So, last we left off, you guys had dealt with the ambush of gunmen that had appeared after the wedding. Um, most of them died. The apparent leader of the group was captured and tied up. And one of them escaped, and who knows where she went. But you collected all of the weapons and anything you could find on the body. You all helped put out the fires that Lish and Levey kept setting um, in an effort to smoke out the sniper. And with the assistance of the villagers, you guys then began to head back towards the home of Runa, Jason, and Nim. And that's where we're picking up. So who is going where? You've got your Fortress of Solitude set up, and then there's the actual cabin itself.
My understanding was Valk was returning with the family after healing up everyone, and then everyone was going to track down the sniper.
I don't know if everybody was coming with Lish, but Lish is going to take a short rest and then follow the trail.
Yeah, after the session last week, that was very briefly discussed, and I said that Zoe would probably buddy up with him, just so that he's A, got backup in case he needs it, and B, got a solid investigator in case he needs it.
Do we want to take the time for a short rest?
Lish, well, I mean, unless somebody else can be a wolf or a tracker, Lish wants to be able to wild shape. But I guess he could polymorph somebody. But that's just another spell to burn when we could be fighting her later.
And I was going to drop what spell slots I had left into healing people.
I mean, I have a polymorph to burn if Zoda wants to be a wolf, and
I mean,
some sniffing.
Ironically, I think being a wolf would probably help her tracking, but it hurt her investigation quite a bit. Because you don't really keep your stats when polymorphed.
Polymorphed makes you an animal.
You would be using the investigation of a wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the question is if wolf sense would be more effective than her kitted investigation stat.
Well, if a third
actual question for you.
Well, if a third person is going with, they can be the wolf.
That's true.
Nobody has to be the wolf. Lish just
She'd probably be like, it's a good idea, but I think I'd rather have all my senses intact.
Anyway, who's still damaged and who's going with? Because I'm going to start dropping healing spells on people.
I could use a bit of healing.
Who's all under half?
Aaron's under half.
I'm not under half.
What's Toby's HP like, Mackenzie?
Tobias is at 108 out of 123.
Okay, you're probably good.
Fucking good to go.
Yeah.
You guys see Sniv sitting on the ground, take his dagger and just start trying to dig the bullet out himself. Because he was shot a couple of times.
Fuck yeah, you should probably take care of that.
Do I need to get the bullets out before casting the spell?
No, not necessarily. Sniv is just doing what he's doing.
Is Sniv below half?
Oh yeah, he's at 26 out of 63.
So it's me, Sniv, not Lish, and Aaron. So 3. Okay, so I guess I'll use this ability that I haven't used yet. Hold on, I need to
Sniv
look it
pulls
up.
out the bullet and then bites it and then puts it in his pocket.
Let's see. I have not been able to use this yet. Okay. So I use Turn the Tide. So basically, anyone underneath half hit points gets dice. That just went everywhere.
That's how it goes.
Awesome.
Well, it's the D6 I needed. So everyone who's below half gets 9 hit points.
All right.
What? I would need to, yes.
And then let's see. It's D8 plus casting. So Sniv, here you go, buddy. You get, or how down is Sniv still?
He's at 35 now.
Out of
63.
Okay, so he doesn't need that high of level. Take wait a second. I could just healing hands him the difference. What was the amount again? Sorry.
35 out of 63.
Okay, then I dump my lay on hands on him. So he's up to full.
Cool.
Or down just a couple, so that's 25 hit points. I use my healing hands on myself because I am fucked. And that gets me up to what I'm comfortable being at for this journey. And then Aaron's still down a chunk, correct?
Yeah, he is.
Here, have a lot. Oh, I rolled well. 10, 20, 32, 35 hit points.
Hello? All right.
Does anybody else need healing before we split up?
I mean, if you can spare a little for me, I would appreciate it. I just need a little bit more.
How much down are you?
Like down like 30.
Okay, so I'll use a 4th. 10, 22, 25.
Thank you.
Anybody else need anything before I head back with the fam? That looks like no's, so peace. At which point Valk swings the dude back over her shoulder and proceeds to escort her family back to the Fortress of Solitude.
Demir is coming with Volk.
All right, let's go find us a bush lady.
All right, so we're gonna try and just investigate and survival our way to finding this person.
All right. Roll investigation check. And this is
Lovely.
against her stealth. And her
What's
her
your investigation, Zoda?
Haven't rolled it yet.
I know, but what's your ad?
Oh, 12.
Can I just give you advantage?
That'd be great because I rolled a 3.
God. Maybe we should wait until I can fall into wild shape into a wolf.
Can multiple people roll for investigation?
Yeah, sure.
Well,
Yeah.
at this point, if you're already giving someone else advantage,
Oh,
That's
right. Okay.
so Zoda, what's your total?
Well, I rolled 1 higher, so that's a total of 16.
You have no idea where she went.
Damn.
Lish will sit down and scry on her.
Okay, what's the save on that? Wisdom. Yeah.
Wisdom, and I believe it's at 18 now. Let me double check.
All right.
Hold on. Yeah, it was 18.
You got a 22.
Okay.
Natural 19 plus stuff.
Plus stealth?
Stuff plus stuff.
Oh.
Or with the modifier.
Who got shot by her? It was
Sniv.
Sniv got shot. Can I
I
go
think Erin got shot by her a couple times too.
Can I go and look
He
at
got
where
shot a
Sniv
lot.
was pulling out bullet wounds and see if I can't find a bullet that belonged to her?
I mean, you can try and ask him for one. He is keeping them. As I said, he dug them all out of his body, bit them, and then put them in his pocket. So,
Did Erin go with Volk?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
You could have flagged him now.
Mm,
Probably borrow a bullet from Sniv instead of just taking it. Just be like, hey,
Lish
I need this.
Lish is gonna jog
I'll give
after
that.
you guys real quick and see if he can't convince Sniv of giving up one of those bullets.
sure. I'll tell you what. Roll a persuasion check to Sniv.
13.
Well, he insists he wants it back once you're done, but he's willing to reluctantly relinquish one of the bullets.
Lish guarantees it.
He says he caught
Lish,
them, so he
before you
gets
go.
to keep them.
Yeah, buddy, I'm sure you did.
Lish, before you go, Demir is going to give you a bardic inspiration because I always forget I have.
All right. Well, if this
Gives
doesn't
me a little
work,
smooch on the cheek.
gives her a kiss back and is just like, well, if this doesn't work, then we'll take a short rest and then I'll see if I can track him with a wolf nose. And I'll go back over to Zoda and see if I can't scry one more time with this additional item. Will give me a bit of a boost. Which, here, hold on one second. It'll give me a... Okay. Since it's a possession, it gives her a -4 to her save. So another Wiz 18 with a -4 on her save.
Yeah, that's a failure.
Okay.
You see her running. You can't tell exactly where she is, as it's blurry because of her movement. She looks irritated. But roll an insight check for me.
27.
She looks more irritated at the circumstances that she finds herself in, rather than the loss of the other people in her gang or whatever.
Mhm.
You don't think it's altogether likely that she is going to come after you guys. You get the sense from her that she's kind of thinking like, well, shit, now I gotta like find another group to join or find some other way to make money. Like, this is bullshit.
But it's the principle of the thing. Okay. Well, if he can't pinpoint her right now, then he'll hold off for the moment and end the scry.
Alrighty.
And look to Zoda and just be like, we can't pinpoint her right now unless you have locate person or something like that.
Unfortunately, I never picked that one up. Though I would love to have picked it up for, like, just general use. I've lost so many pens.
Well, perhaps we can get Demir to scry on her later. See if we can't see a location she's at. I do hate loose threads.
Yeah, at the very least, we've got a pretty nice tower to stay in. I don't think that we'll be getting shot through that.
I don't have the feeling that she's going to bother coming back.
Oh, even more security then.
Frustration. And he'll start walking to follow the rest of the party.
Zed is going to go along while she further inspects these pepper boxes.
All right.
She really wants to know what makes them tick.
Are you gonna take a level gunslinger?
Nah.
All right. So, what's everyone doing?
Well, I know Tobias will probably be checking in on the family, making sure that they're doing okay before basically kind of, I guess, acting as a guard, similar to probably what Aaron is doing for the interrogation that's going to happen in the fortress.
All right. The family seems a little weirded out by the circumstances. They're very glad that everyone is safe. Nim seemed very frightened of the fire, but they are unharmed, which is probably good because they're commoners with like 10 hit points each.
Tobias is glad to see that they're all right, and he will tell Nim, you were a brave little guy for your mom. You did good. Or you were a brave little guy for your parents. You did good.
He looks up at you and then pulls out one of the little carvings he had made before out of his pocket that he apparently had been carrying with him during the wedding.
Is that a good luck charm for you now? Well, I'm very honored to hear that, Nim.
And he gives a little smile and puts it back in his pocket.
Which animal was it?
It was the bear.
Oh, that's so cute.
All right.
Valk probably, when she dumps the guy off in the fortress and other people are watching him, goes and checks on the family as well.
Okay.
Just, a quick little, everyone's all right, nobody's injured, no needing to heal.
But they're a little shaken, a little surprised, but they're not hurt.
Good. At which point, when she gets back to the tower, there's a heartfelt thank you to everyone, for making sure everyone was okay.
Would have been quite the waste of our time to have just let the family die after everything we went through to get them here. So,
You need to work on your bedside manner, Missy.
What bedside manner?
Fuck, we wouldn't have let people important to you get hurt if we were there. And Aaron's just gonna give Demira weird luck.
Doing things like that is one of the reasons I started studying magic. I'm just glad to put it to use.
Is this guy awake or is he still unconscious?
You've made no effort to wake him up, so he's still unconscious.
Well,
I would like to get this scumbag out of our hands as soon as possible.
I'm going to need a chair, or 2 chairs.
2 chairs. I don't think we have any furniture in here.
You can steal some from your mom's house.
Knock on the door. Hey, I need to borrow a couple chairs.
Oh, sure. Your mom easily hands you a couple of wooden chairs.
Thank you. At which point Valk waddles back with her chairs like a penguin who had just found a pebble. At which point, who actually knows how to tie shit? Because I ain't good at it.
I mean,
Zoda just looking up from her gun inspection
Tobias probably knows how to tie stuff because of his fucking survival stuff.
I mean, yeah, I know that. Yeah, I would say that using rope for this would count as survival.
I'll let Toby do it. No reason not to.
Okay. I'm assuming you want the guy tied to the chair.
Yep.
Okay. Tobias will tie the fucking guy to the chair.
Like a good little interrogator helper.
Yo. Okay.
But yeah, so
Sim, you want me to roll survival for that?
I'll roll survival check.
Okay. Ooh, that's a 22.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Thank God. I thought he was gonna roll low.
You get him tied pretty securely to the chair.
Okay, so what exactly are all the questions that we want answers from this guy, and who's going to be squeamish and shouldn't be in the room?
Well, I want to find out if he was just very stupid and robbing a random set of wedding guests on the road,
hired.
or yes,
I want to know if he
or
knows the
whether
king.
he had heard a little something about excess gold from some guests in town and thought to take advantage of that.
I want to know if
Okay,
he knows the king of cut purses.
Okay, king of cut purses. Gun. We want to know details about gun. Or the boomstick, as it would be being called, because I don't know it's called a gun. Valk wants to know if ongoing threat. Does anybody have anything else?
No, but
When, where? So before we get this party started, the 5 questions I have on hand is if they were hired for us or if they're just bandits, if they know the king of cut purses, how the boomsticks work, if they're an ongoing threat, and when and where they're from.
and I would be fine to ask questions if that, or if you need help, I can provide that as well.
So you'll be staying in the room. Who else is staying in the room?
I'm Stan.
Tobias will stay.
So I was
Let's
gonna
just
stick around
gonna
as
stay,
well.
but he's gonna trance while you guys are doing this and just pop up out of it if something happens.
Okay. And what was the answers for Zoda and Levey?
Zoda's staying in while she inspects the not the tinder boxes. What are those things called?
Pepper box.
Pepper boxes. Thank you. She's gonna be inspecting a pepper box in the back, basically, and like listen in.
Yeah, Levy will be on standby. She'll stay.
Okay, so you'll be listening in from the doorway because someone should probably be keeping an eye out on the grounds.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And if Nim gets out of the house.
Yeah.
Although I imagine they're all sleeping at this point.
I mean, no, you guys just got back.
She could also go and like keep an eye on the family and make sure that nobody comes to do anything.
Would
I don't
probably be a
know.
good idea.
Yeah, she can play guard dog.
Yeah, there's a Valk makes a face that you have trouble parsing, and she says thank you.
Yeah, she'll go make sure, especially since Nim was shaken up and Toby was trying to cheer them up. She'll use her big sister powers for good.
For her.
All right.
So at which point Valk makes sure to have a pepper box and the ammo close by because asking about that. And would a dagger be part of adventuring gear, or do I just not have a dagger?
Unless you have it written down in your inventory, or it's included in something like a Dungeoneer's pack, which I don't think it is.
It's
Can
not
I-
now.
Can I borrow a dagger from someone?
If you promise to give it back.
I'll make sure to clean it first, yeah.
Are you gonna stab this guy?
I need to be prepared for eventualities. At which point Val kind of grabs the knife and kind of flips it and shoves it in her boot.
Think that should he behave, we should consider releasing him to the
I'm
proper
aware of that.
authorities, maybe, but I think we should give him the chance to go free.
That'll be
Just
entirely
as a
up to him.
option. Exactly. That was
Just
what
be
my
careful with it.
plan
It's Mom's
was,
knife.
so. Mhm. Oh. Um. Trying to decide if I want to do this before he wakes up or not.
I would appreciate a bardic inspiration for my
yes.
initial intimidation roll.
Yes. I am going to give a point of bardic inspiration to Volk, and I will give one to Aaron, because he is also in the intimidation game. And I will also give one to Levey before she leaves. So that we have 2 intimidators and 1 lookout inspired.
So guidance is an ability check, not a skill check. Is there a spell that boosts skill checks?
Yes, but I didn't take it.
Fair
I
enough.
considered it. I almost did. It was in the top 3, but I went with something else.
Okay.
Everyone's sitting up there and, changed into his battle stuff and gotten his axes strapped on. He looks like he's ready for a fight.
Yeah, Tobias will be geared up as well.
All right. So for the purposes of just picturing this in the mind's eye, are you all, even with your gear, are you guys still in your wedding outfits?
Demir hasn't changed.
Aaron has changed.
Tobias will have changed out of it.
Okay.
I
So
think
mixed bag is what I'm hearing here.
yeah, Valk's still in the wedding clothes because surprises.
All right. So what do you do to wake this man up?
I would like to make a healing check to see where he's at.
That would be a medicine check. So roll medicine.
15, 17.
17. Not to put a numerical value on it or anything, but he's technically at 26 out of 137 hit points.
But unconscious because of the non-lethal damage.
That's correct.
Okay, so I don't want to bother casting a spell on this dude. Do we want to just splash him with some water? Give him a couple slappy slaps?
Seems fair enough.
Fuck it. Valk just open hands while sitting in the chair across from him.
All right. That startles him awake, and he looks around at you and tries but fails to look intimidating, baring his sharp tiefling teeth as he tugs at his binding.
Oh, you poor little stupid thing. Do you understand how fucked you are?
It's at this point Valk just smiles at him and he gets a face full of "Do not be afraid."
All right. You're actually doing the effect.
Yeah, I'm doing the effect.
Cool. What's the save for that?
Double checking because I can never remember.
I'm pretty sure it's a charisma save, but I'm not 100% on that.
I'm pretty sure of that as well, but you know, that part of my notes has since been torn off out of boredom. Not boredom, but you know, fidgeting.
Yeah.
Okay. DC 8 plus proficiency bonus plus charisma modifier. And yes, it is a charisma saving throw. So, my saves just went up, or my saving throws just, yeah, they're better now. So that'll be a 16.
Yeah, he failed. So when you do this, he visibly flinches and kind of wilts a bit. Then, like, eventually says, "What do you want, then?"
We
Quite
have some
simply,
question.
we're going to ask some questions. Either this will go the easy way, you give the answers we want, and we part ways. Or
roll an intimidation check with advantage, by the way.
there's a second half of this. Or, well, the short answer is there's pain involved, and then it gets a little bit more awkward when we're deciding what to do with you. And I get a D. It's a D6, right, Demir?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Let's see. 10, 18, 22. Oh, advantage. Do I roll the D6 as well on advantage?
No.
Or
No.
just okay. Okay, so 22.
You can see that he's starting to break out in a cold sweat at this point. And he says, "Fine, just ask your questions and then let me go."
Okay.
Fair enough.
So I want to know.
Wait. So we know you're being honest, except this spell.
Okay. He is going to reflexively try to resist it anyway, just because he's scared.
Fair enough.
But that's a failure.
Okay. So at which point I know if he's lying.
Mm-hmm. Well, he can't tell a lie.
Yeah. Oh, I need everyone to make saves as well.
Fucking hell.
What
Does not
is it
involve. She'll
again?
choose to fail hers.
Not Levey though, right? She's off.
Yeah,
Making
you're
sure
not
your
within
family isn't
15
too
feet.
traumatized.
What are
Was
we
it a
rolling for
wisdom?
this?
Because it's not a choice of who's being affected. It's literally just bubble.
No, what are we rolling? Not
Oh.
why are we rolling?
Charisma, zone of truth.
25.
Straight charisma.
Okay, so you can lie in the bubble. Charisma saving throw, yeah.
22.
You can lie.
Holy fucking shit. Tobias rolled a 2, so
no.
that's a 3.
I
You
also
can't
rolled a
lie.
2, so that's a 4.
So the two wild men can't lie, but everyone else can.
No, Zoda can't. 'Cause she willingly failed her save.
Okay.
No
Anyway,
reason to even hide the truth. So
Valk's just eyes out at the moment, smiling, menacing, leaning forwards. So, were you hired for us, or are you just bandit or brigandine bandit?
We
What-
weren't hired by no one.
Okay, just making sure that you aren't coming for us directly because
No,
we
I
do.
have no idea who these people even are.
Oh, you got so unlucky then, my poor stupid idiot. You really didn't think to look into who you were robbing?
The lovely lady's right.
It was just a thing of convenience. It was nothing personal.
At which point, Valk grabs one of the boomsticks and goes, "How does this work?"
And he kind of blinks and looks genuinely baffled by the question. You aim it and then pull the trigger.
Where did you get it?
Off a merchant.
Where?
When are you from?
What year is it?
It's 1922 of the Ninth Era.
Oh.
Well, that answers that
Zoda
question.
sort of mutters like in the middle of inspecting this parrot box, she stops, goes wide-eyed, and then grabs her journal and starts furiously writing.
Hey,
just to double check, he said 1922 of the 8th era?
Ninth Era.
9th era.
1922 or 1822?
1922.
So what is
good to
that
know
relative to us?
It's gonna serve another.
We're in the
Yeah,
1840s,
yes.
I think.
We are 1837 of the Ninth Era.
Mhm.
So this man's almost 100 years from the future.
Well, congratulations. You're 100 years in the past, buddy boo.
Oh boy, that sucks for him.
Yeah, real unfortunate. You're just having a shit time, huh?
He's looking at you guys like you're just fucking with him.
You do realize we're in the zone of truth as well.
Yeah, I can't lie right now. Sorry, dude. Everything you know is gone.
I don't know how this magic bullshit works. Have I answered your questions? Can I go?
2 more. Is the King of Cut Purses still a thing from when you're from?
Well, yeah.
At which point,
That's
Val kind of
unfortunate.
leans back and looks to Aaron. Well, do you have any questions in regards to the King of Cut Purses?
I don't know. It'd be useful if he's 100 years in the future.
He did
Sucks
say he was
that-
unaffiliated too, so
Yeah,
I checked their armor. They didn't have any identifying marks at all.
sucks to know that doesn't get dealt with.
Well,
Though
we
could
haven't
just as
dealt
eas-
with it. So the
Yeah, that's
timeline
fair.
might change.
Anything we want to learn about the future from him?
Well, doesn't sound like he knows all that much. So at which point
Why are
Val
you
kind
so
of looks
dumb?
at the pepper box and fires it into the ground.
Is it even loaded? Is the question?
Exactly. Is it loaded?
Let me double check because I know that it has 5 barrels. And I think we had to on this one. Thinking back to the last time, excuse me. Yes.
It is loaded.
Yes. So you
Okay.
shoot the ground of the fortress and it chips the stone and the bullet kind of stays off. And he flinches and kind of yells, "Be careful!"
And the pouches here with stuff, how do those work? These don't exist yet.
You've never seen a gun before?
100
As I
years
said,
in the past.
These don't
Keep
exist
up.
yet.
And he gives a short explanation of how you can kind of just buy bullets most any town. how to load the black powder in the bullet and how the mechanism works for firing.
Zoda's going to replicate all of this as he's saying it, and then test fire into the ground outside.
He kind of jumps again and says, "Careful, those things are old."
They're quite new from my perspective.
Breakable.
So Valk turns to Zoda.
Sense,
You're satisfied with the information on these guns?
Well, yeah, anything he hasn't told us, I could probably figure out myself. Seems pretty intuitive. I'm surprised he didn't come up with these earlier.
At which point, Valk leans back forwards, full spiky teeth visible. The last question, probably most important for you. Are you still a threat to my family?
I'm never going to return here again. You have my word.
I'm going to put my hand on his shoulder and tell him that was a very good choice of yours. And I'm casting Evercold on him.
Okay. Let me pull up the description for that.
You need to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. That's the wrong document. Here we are. Wisdom?
Mm-hmm.
That's a natural 20 plus 2.
I'll cast it again.
Okay. Let's see. 17.
Oh, that's a failure. I am so sorry. You take 5 points of cold damage. But you know, I'm a generous sort. So, once he's recovered a little from that bite of cold, I'll cast Healing Word on him. Just, you know, to help.
Okay.
And then I'll turn to Valkyria. Oh, he recovers more than that.
And he continues to make saves, correct?
Mm-hmm. Every hour. But okay. I'm going to turn to Volk and just say, we can let him go now. I think he has given us all that he can.
How much did he recover?
He recovers 6 points of health.
Okay.
More than I took.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So Valk's wings fold in, and you can kind of see her playing with the knife in her boot. And puts the knife back and then starts to, wait, do we want to knock him out and dump him somewhere? Or are we just going to let him go?
Wake up randomly in a field. In the wrong time period.
And he's just kind of looking at you all like.
Does anybody have sleep?
No, but I mean, we can blind him if we need to and dump him out somewhere.
That does seem more humane.
I don't have it prepared, but
that's not necessary. That's not necessary. I'll go without any further problem.
I believe
he did take away like literally all of his guns, so
he is literally naked except for his underwear. I think he's fine.
Okay, Valk unties him and slaps him on the ass. Get out of here.
All right, he just fucking bolts. He runs.
Man, I'm glad I'm
He's not going to make it very long. Jeez. He's not going to make it very long. He won't be a reoccurring problem. No matter what
that's his problem.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by that?
Valk kind of flips the dagger back and forth and then hands it back to... Fuck, did I get it from Zoda? Yes. Zoda.
She takes it back and puts it back in its sheath, but she's sort of just like cautiously side-eyeing Demir after that comment.
Yeah, Aaron's also zeroed in on her.
You don't fucking shoot my husband and live to tell of it. That's all.
I would have rather just killed him here.
That's not as humiliating.
Or deserving. Well,
I don't think. Whatever.
that was a
I'm not gonna argue.
shitty end to the evening. Does anyone have any more drink?
I think Demir has the right idea.
Whatever. I'm gonna finish these notes.
You take a long rest.
I was hoping he would say he was still a threat so I could have done evil Valk things. But oh well.
You two are just begging for an alignment change, aren't you?
Oh, it would have been a swift death, not whatever the fuck Demir's doing to him.
Demir does not have a G in her alignment. She has never had a G in her alignment.
I'm aware, but like,
my alignment just says weirdo, so I never figured out her exact alignment because I've never really wanted to role play her as a specific alignment. I want her to feel less constrained than that.
Yeah. Alignments can be a little
Go
restricting.
over to Lish and see if he maybe has any more of that wine left over.
Lish has 3 bottles of Elvish wine in his bag and a bottle of Elverquist. So, you know, while he's meditating, he can rifle through his pouches.
Well, if you're sharing, Valk will take a swig.
Yeah, Demir will take one of his bottles. Sorry, hun. I don't have any more wine. I already gave you my Elverquist. And pass the bottle back and forth between Volk until she decides it's bedtime now.
All right. Once you decide bedtime, Demir, if you can roll 5d6, please.
Okay. Fucking shit.
Just for overnight.
Okay. It's not continual damage. It's a point of exhaustion for every fail.
Oh, that's right. I'm trying to find the description. Okay.
God.
Yeah, it's a low DC. It's 10. So
yeah. Let me see. All right, yeah, he's almost fucking dead. By the time you wake up in the morning, it's fine.
I don't care. He's not my problem anymore.
Okay.
Demir wakes up kind of hungover, and is going to put on that studded lever we got from the fuck ass.
All right. Is anyone else doing anything in the morning?
Do we want to make breakfast for the newlyweds?
You can make breakfast for the newlyweds. I think if all of us
I'm
showed
allowed
up
to make
with
breakfast
pancakes,
anymore.
we all are in their bedroom to give them breakfast in bed on their first day of their honeymoon.
And they did have a bit of a wah wah ending to their special day.
I'm just imagining like, good morning. Here's a nice breakfast for you. How did you get in the house? Good morning.
Did
I mean,
Levey
do
not
you
like
knock or do you just
stay the
walk
night?
in?
I'm wondering if Levy stayed the night over there to like as insurance.
I
Just
don't know, did you?
magical guard dog. I mean, sure. Just she's a paranoid sort. She probably would.
All right. Nim was happy to show you a bunch of the carvings that Toby made. You guys spent a while kind of just putting them in rows before everyone fell asleep.
Yes. Arbitrarily sorting.
Got some sorting done. You got some parallel play. It was good.
Everything's fucking beautiful. Hell yes. Yeah. Then I don't know. She probably crashes on their couch or some shit.
Alrighty.
Just keeps an eye on the door. And if Volk comes knocking to make breakfast, she'll let her in.
Valk kind of leans at Demir, like, is there any chance that I can enlist you in breakfast making? Since you're the only one here who is a competent cook.
Yeah, sure. Breakfast for the newlyweds. You have any rice? She just starts looking through her ingredients.
Yeah. I mean, they don't have like very fancy things, but they do have rice. They have basics. They've got flour, sugar, like, you know, grains, oatmeal.
She's going to start making like cooking the rice. She has some spices from her own collection, so she'll pull it out.
It's snowing again this morning, by the way. It's snowing again this morning, by the way.
Oh, that doesn't help with the ever cold.
Beautiful. I am going to Volk, will you chop me up some tomatoes? Do you have chicken, beef, or proteins?
I don't have anything in me, so we're literally raiding their reserves. Yeah, I have chili cakes.
Yeah. Demir will just kind of start taking over the kitchen, and you know, basically she's making like a kind of stewed rice dish. And it's like it's sort of a Mojave wedding thing. It's more the like day after the wedding feast sort of meal, but it's also like really cobbled together because she is using someone else's kitchen with ingredients that she's not entirely familiar with.
All right.
And Valk's being, you know, chopping bitch.
Yeah. And she'll make some like flatbread to go with it, and you know, serve the crunchy bits up front, up top, and all that good stuff. So
when Valk does have a moment in between being the kitchen bitch, she kind of walks over to Levey, gives her a hug, peck on the top of the head, and thank you for watching my family last night.
She's probably got like, I don't know, a cup of tea if they have that, and she's just kind of half asleep still because she was probably up and down because she's paranoid and nobody hurts her, and hers is theirs, and all of that. So she's just kind of but you know, but she gives a sleepy nod and a smile and says like tells Valk about like hanging out with Nim and stuff.
Nim's a good kid.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any agenda this morning?
Not until after people are fed.
All right. Demir, I'll tell you what. Why don't you roll a performance check for the cooking?
Oh, hell yeah. All
Just
right.
because it's ingredients you're not used to.
Yeah, and she's trying to kind of half remember how to make a wedding food, or post-wedding food. The performance. Okay. I'm not proficient in performance. That's not great for a bard. That's a 23.
It's not bad. It's not exactly like it is at home, but you're able to make the best of the ingredients you have, and you're pretty pleased with the outcome. It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. Well, it's not as good as in Marhaba, but I think it'll do.
Valk wanders. The bedrooms are downstairs, right?
Yes.
Valk kind of wanders downstairs, and if they're not out yet, just kind of knock, knock, knock.
You can hear your mother call out, come in.
Valk kind of sheepishly opens the door and steps inside.
You can see that their bedroom is pretty small, pretty humble. There's a wooden bed frame with a nightstand on either side of it, one of which has a little oil lamp on it. And then there is a dresser immediately opposite the foot of the bed. But that seems to be just about it. Although there is, out of the corner of your eye, you see a mirror hanging on the door.
I was half expecting you to say ceiling.
No. And you can see that your mother was kind of sitting with her legs hanging off of the bed as she was like dragging a brush through her hair. And Jason is reading a book next to the oil lamp. And when you come in, they both smile at you, and Runa says, "Oh, good morning, darling. How are you today?"
Feeling a bit better than last night. Sorry for that was how you guys' evenings ended.
Well, I'm just glad that everyone is safe.
We made some breakfast for you guys for when you're ready.
Oh, you didn't have to do that. Thank you.
Got to do a little something for the newlyweds.
Well, I appreciate it. And Jason looks up from his book and says, really, that's quite kind of you.
You know, it's what we do. I'll let you guys finish getting ready, and I'll go grab Nim.
All right, we'll see you shortly.
Quick nod, kind of scuttles out of the door, and then goes and bothers Nim.
All right. Nim's room is about the size of Runa and Jason's room, except it's got slightly more floor space because his bed is smaller. And there is a dresser. Looks like it's part of a match set of the one in his parents' room, but there's also like a little toy box with things stacked very neatly on top of it. And then there is a woven rug on the floor that looks kind of like a spiral.
Very fun. But yeah, so Valk signs and talks. We made some breakfast if you'd like something.
He nods and signs thank you, and then kind of scuttles past you and heads upstairs.
I follow him back up.
All right. It's not long before Jason and Runa join you as well. And is everyone in here for breakfast, or is it just Valk and Demir?
It could be grab a plate and flee, or we could be eating all together. What are people's thoughts?
I mean, Levey's there.
I was gonna say if the entire party's crammed in there, it's a little crowded, but it's cozy.
Yeah, communal breakfast, family breakfast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Levey's gonna probably actually slump against Toby on this fine morning.
All right.
Lish was outside in the snow, just kind of looking around appreciatively, and then someone pulls him inside for family breakfast.
Not snowing much. It's kind of more that light dusting that makes the ground crunchy because everything's frozen, but it's not enough to actually play in.
It's still pretty.
Yeah, you know.
And all I can imagine is someone with the cartoon hook just going over Lish and whoop.
Little shepherd's crook.
All right. Are there any conversations that would like to be had over breakfast?
I guess Levey's gonna ask Toby if he slept okay. She's been focused on Falk, but she's been like, I miss my guy.
I'm doing all right. You know me, I hold up well.
Well, yeah, but I've been missing you a little bit. Just because I'm focused on something else, don't mean that I ain't thinking about you.
That's sweet of you.
Well, I mean, you're sweet, so, you know, a little bit deserved.
Yeah, I suppose.
I didn't sleep great. I got used to sleeping in a pile again, and then had my little hiatus, and I didn't sleep great a few nights there because I missed sleeping in the pile again. And then I got used to it again. And she's pouting. She didn't have her very large space heater. And guy that she really, really likes.
Then we'll have to make up for that later. Make sure you catch up on your sleep.
She does make eyebrows at him, actually. Just because she's a little shit. Does it just have to be sleeper?
You can use me whatever you need me for. You know that.
Shit-eating grin. And just... I mean, it ain't to use you. It's just to spend time and enjoy your company.
Well, that is true. I do prefer to be useful to those that I care about.
I know. I'm just saying you don't got to be useful. I just enjoy you.
There's something in his eyes that tells her that part of him is rejecting the notion that he doesn't need to be useful, while another part is trying to accept what she says as fact. But instead of saying anything, he just remains quiet and smiles at her fondly.
Okay, break my heart, fool. Okay. She'll be like, I also did have a little bit of a more serious question for you, but I don't think I want to have any incidental audiences to it.
Would you like us to go somewhere more private?
After breakfast, when you've eaten your fill and gotten to spend time with everybody else.
Of course, yes.
She wants private time with him, but not at the expense of him enjoying other people's company.
I'm not in any trouble, am I?
No, the opposite.
He looks intrigued.
Love real. Anyways, she'll give him a little peck on the cheek and then continue eating. Perhaps at a slightly faster pace than before.
Tamia's going to, at some point, well, I assume that she's sitting next to Lish, but she is going to turn to him and just, are you okay? I didn't really get a chance to. Well, I didn't really check in with you last night, but.
A little frustrated still, but generally all right.
Over the one that got away.
Yes.
I mean, from what we learned of the leader, seems like they just got very unlucky.
It's the principle of the thing.
Do you think we'd be able to track her?
We could, but at this point it's a distraction.
Well, I don't really know what else we are doing for now. Demir's going to turn to the table and just, what are we doing now?
Eating breakfast? Are you all right?
Yes, no,
Are you hungover?
I mean, don't exactly have anything to rush off to aside from trying to deal with this masquerade ball. But
I mean, aren't we supposed to be figuring out the magic and interplanar crap? And before she says crap, she's gonna cut a glance to Nim, like, maybe I shouldn't cuss in front of a child.
Do it.
There's also the thing we discovered at what's his butt's fort, castle, keep.
oh,
Yeah, well, out of character, you guys have the whole stone conspiracy.
Oh yeah, that fucking bullshit.
I mean, Tamir doesn't care about that, so.
Levey cares about it a lot, actually.
Evie cares, Vault cares, Lish cares because
The big sister
children.
senses a child in distress, and she must act.
There's a child being locked up somewhere and not allowed outside. She's kind of got a vested interest in not letting that happen.
There's a child locked against her will in Lego City.
To be fair, the kid was locked inside of her own room by her own volition. It was locked from the inside. She could have let herself out anytime.
She would like to check. You cannot.
Lish's plan, more or less, has been just to blackmail them into getting Volk's sword back. So
Yeah, Valk would like her sword back. And doesn't Demir like blackmail?
I mean,
Doesn't Tamir like drama?
I mean, you know, anything to cause a scandal at a party is always a good thing.
We could drop the info at the party.
Why?
That was what
Bing
I was
bong,
thinking.
fuck your
would
life.
be-
So I was just like looking
Oh.
between all these open conspirators and Valk's family at the same table.
we don't know certain if the child is being harmed. The child is being recused for some reason. But
Well, you know, I'd like to check.
We'd
She's
feel
got-
I
better
would like
knowing
to check
why.
as well. I would like to check as well.
Okay, excellent. We're on the
I
same
think Bright
page.
Mellow might be able to get in there again.
Oh yeah, that'd be yeah. Sometimes I do forget about the pixies. They do tend to stay in your hair.
The pixies are so mad.
I'm
Hearing
sorry.
They're standing up from his head, like squeaking at you.
Maybe if y'all came out more. She's teasing them.
One of them flipped you off.
She is
It
teasing
sounds
them.
like a cacophony of bells ringing at the same time.
Like Carol of the Bells happening from your head.
I'm just imagining like a bunch of like really angry fairy like Zelda noises, like ding.
Just angry little doorbell sounds. Like somebody jammed the doorbell. She sticks her tongue back out at them, and it's very clearly playful. She is teasing them.
Angry jingling.
Well, doesn't
She'll make it up to them later.
looping back to the task at hand, doesn't Zoda have stone shape? Or the ability to
And dimensional
shape stone?
door.
I believe Lish also has some kind of stone thing.
So we could very easily fly in, make a hole, check, then leave.
Or
could
we could
polymorph
just, you know,
too.
go to the window or door.
Well, if there is a window.
There wasn't a window, I don't think, on the outside.
Alright.
Also, I'd rather not murder some guards just because we're concerned about a child's welfare. I think the murdering of guards should wait until after we know that the child isn't okay.
Or it's not any of our
yourself.
business.
I thought you were interested in seeing what this family was up to behind closed doors, Demir. No.
I mean, I like a good scandal, but if it comes to disrupting the leadership of this town that we have no vested interest in, I really don't think that's a good idea.
Well, certainly being careful so it doesn't disrupt your family, Volk, is something to take into consideration. Anything done might come back to bite them.
Especially
Exactly.
given that we kind of made ourselves very clearly aligned with them. So any investigation that we do with our names attached kind of puts us at odds with them.
And also, I mean, if we go in there tripping over ourselves like we did last time about a kid that we're really not supposed to know about, if the child is in trouble, it could fall back on them. So I'd like to protect everybody at least a little, with some subtlety. Maybe I know we're not always the best at it, but I think we can. I think we can manage.
I agree. Subtle is a good idea in this case.
For what it is worth, I do not think that they are an unhappy family. I think that there is likely some kind of thing that is making them sequester.
I wonder
I
if the
don't think
child
it
isn't
is.
his.
It is either that or perhaps some plainal abnormality, some infernal
Valk
mixture.
plays with her necklace, then we have something that could help with that.
Like a curse, you think? They have enough money to remove curses, wouldn't you suppose?
Well, they certainly do now.
Look, I don't want to talk about the money part.
I would like my sword
I'm
back.
sure you don't. I'm sure you would love for not to think about the money.
Can we not talk about the money part?
You don't have,
Especially
don't
not
have to.
in front of the people we spent it on.
We don't have to talk about it.
She seems
Well,
a
we could
little
probably
embarrassed.
Well, we could probably get your sword back. We just need to know where it's being kept.
I didn't mean steal, I meant blackmail it back.
I mean, technically you're suggesting a crime either way, aren't you?
Wow, this is
If
really
it's-
a conversation to be having in front of. And
Yeah,
then
it
Tobias.
really is.
I mean, I assume that we waited to talk about blackmail and the city leader when they're not there anymore.
So.
Y'all gotta specify that. Y'all gotta really fucking specify this shit.
Yeah, because I was operating on the assumption that we were still at the table as well, but
I was also operating under the assumption that we were still at the table, considering Levey just pointed out Fox
Yeah.
Philly.
Aaron's gonna
I mean, I don't
turn.
know. Lish doesn't give a crap.
They seem to be pointedly minding their own business. Nim is kind of just looking at you guys. Jason is like, they're talking about things. I'm going to pretend I don't hear, so I'm not an accessory to theft or kidnapping or whatever. Runa's kind of glancing at you every now and then, like, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Tobias, when Runa
Aaron's
glances
gonna-
over, Tobias is just wearing the most apologetic expression on his face, just silently telling her, "I'm so sorry."
It's at this point Valk leans over and it's like, leans behind where Nim can see and just quickly signs found kid in locked room, figuring out what's up.
I mean, Lish will just pipe up and just be like, I mean, does it surprise you all to hear that your town leader has a secret? Or is this something that you are vaguely aware?
Runa says, well, I personally have no interest in getting involved within leadership of a small town, as that has not gone well for me in the past. But you know, he's running the town. I mean, I hear rumors about him every now and then, but that's how it is in politics in most places, right?
Is he popular? Well liked?
He's fine. As I said, I try not to get too involved in politics. But people don't seem necessarily displeased with how things are run.
He seems to be overreaching on the matter of taking his cut of the lake. He looks to the husband like, are you feeling
Jason
exploited?
says, sometimes that's how it is.
That's
the rich
just how it
come into power and they stay there. And there's often not much for the poor who do not have much security in their lives, what they can do about it.
True and fair.
But I'm not listening to this conversation.
You don't have to. Honestly, you should be talking about this somewhere else.
Yeah,
as long as everyone is being safe, it is fine. We are having a normal breakfast conversation when no one is endangering me or my son or my wife or any of you.
Yes. Maybe we should finish this conversation not at the breakfast table. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, things get away from us. Terribly sorry. Nim, dear, maybe do as we say and not as we do on some of this stuff. Sorry. Levey's gonna get up and start gathering up the empty plates because she's like red at the ears. She's actually like really embarrassed.
Yeah, Valk helps with that.
Alicia's gonna have the Pixies do a performance for the baby.
Smoke bomb.
Nim is very interested in the Pixies.
Yeah. The Pixies will perform a Hamlet type soliloquy with ruffled collars and everything. And then a break dance number. Sure.
Oh my god.
All right. So you conclude breakfast. You make sure that the Grace Carter family are no longer accessories to whatever you're doing. Levey, did you want to have a conversation with Tobias before you continue your plans to steal a sword back or talk a child into stealing a sword from her dad or whatever it is you're doing?
Let's wrap up business first. Since that was the whole reason we left the house anyways, right?
Well, anyway, I don't think he's going to miss a sword, given what I'm not supposed to talk about, as per Levey's request.
Aaron messages
just throwing it out
Focus
there
and
that
Valk.
Sorry.
Sorry. Aaron messages both Zod and Volk. I'm something to the tune of, I mean, if we just take it, he's going to know it's us, and if we don't have a way to stop him from getting back at us. Audible ...
Yeah. Stealing the sword back is not the play that I would like to make. The play that I would like to make is make sure the kid's okay, and then imply that we're gonna blackmail him, and that I would like my sword back. What y'all do after that is up to y'all.
I was thinking that we could write a lovely little letter.
We could do that, but I would like to check the child is okay first. That's my priority here, is that the child is okay.
See, here's the thing. He will know that it is us if we go for the sword, or if we write a letter. I was more thinking along the lines of we find out what it is and plant some rumors at the party that we're going to. That sort of thing is just irresistible.
Well, this is all dependent upon if the child is indeed okay. Because if the child is not okay, then things will need to happen.
I mean, is anyone really okay when you're born to aristocracy?
That is rich coming from her, but I can't comment on that because Zoda doesn't know. Damn.
Aaron just fucking snorts.
Everyone purposefully looks at Demir, just like.
So it's just like.
Lish is like piping up again to be this, like, she sounded all right. The room was locked from the inside, and she said that she didn't want dinner at that moment. I don't think that this is a case of more a case of scandal than abuse, perhaps. I
would still like to confirm that from her own words.
That, but also, I call me paranoid. As a child of abuse as a result of scandal.
Hi.
I don't know. I want to make sure.
I'm not saying that we don't make sure. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, no, absolutely. I mean, if you say, like, I trust your judgment, I'm just, make sure. And I hope that you're right.
I think we are making a lot of assumptions off of a very little amount of information.
Which is why we're making sure. Right?
We can wild shape / polymorph one or two of us inside. Go and ask our questions.
I can turn someone into a canary.
I think we might need to go smaller than that. I was thinking roach or fly, perhaps.
Or a hole in the wall that we then close back behind us. You're able to cast that twice a day, correct, Zoda?
That's a lot less subtle than a fly.
Yeah.
It's on the second floor as well, I believe.
I can fly.
I can't.
You raise me up.
It's going to be a little bit more eye-catching than what we want.
Yeah. We should go for maximum stealth here, I believe.
Can't Bright Miller turn invisible?
Yes, when I find familiar him.
Maybe try that, and then the fly, and then use busting through the wall as a last resort.
Bright Mallow cannot talk to the girl unless she speaks Sylvan.
I would also want to be part of the reconnaissance party, but obviously I'm going to have to be the one turned into a fly or something, because this isn't exactly stealthy.
We could turn Valkyria into a canary and Bright Mallow could ride her.
Why is this so complicated?
Wait a second. Don't we have an
could cast
instant
an-
window?
We have an instant hole. I don't know if that.
It's only
Goes through
single
things.
use.
I have
if
an
remember
instant
correctly.
window. Also,
you're talking about like the robe of many things, or whatever it's called, right?
Yeah.
The patch thing. I'm pretty sure that's single use.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So the
but
question is
that
if we would want.
would be
why
the
would-
least flashy way to get in and out.
I feel like that's actually pretty flashy.
A random
Just
window
materialize
appearing
a
in their
window
house?
that wasn't there before.
Well, they would know we were there, but it would be a quieter way to get in and out.
We really
before they
don't
realize
want them
there's a
to
window.
know we were there. We are the number one suspect if anything weird is happening in town right now.
Can the window be undone?
Nope.
Ew.
Once
It
it's there,
just-
it's there.
Okay.
There are other windows as well. Why would we need to create a window?
Well, the window would be directly into the child's room. Although we could
that
fly
would certainly
in.
be noticeable.
We could fly
I
in
also
through
have
a
Misty
different.
Step.
That would be a way to get in through a different window.
I have to be able to see inside, but then I could step inside. Again, we'd have to be able to approach the house without being seen by the numerous amounts of guards. There's also a wall, fence.
Would Bright Mallow be able to deliver like a letter to the child?
He can deliver a letter, yes. That is what I had
Check
in mind.
yes if being abused.
Yeah, exactly. He could hide a letter on this person and slip it under the door.
I don't know if
Then
I would want.
perhaps we should start with that before we start trying to do anything that could result in us getting fucking arrested.
I agree.
True, but I don't
agree.
100% trust a child to be the most forthcoming or knowledgeable about how their existence varies from another's.
I mean, Valkyria, if you want to get yourself arrested and your family in trouble, that is certainly your prerogative, but I don't think that would be
We
the
can-
best idea.
We can just send a note with Bright Mallow that says, "Are you okay?" Signed.
You don't even need to sign it. I would keep it anonymous.
Just
in case it gets
worried.
intercepted.
Just, "Are you
Reply
okay?"
yes or no.
Concerned citizens.
Concerned citizens.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't even think we need to do that.
Just, "Are you okay?"
You can reply to this
And-
message.
And then if they say yes, we're just gonna have to take their word for it. And that sucks. But it's what we've got without getting our sorry asses in trouble.
It's better than nothing, and it's better than accidentally teleporting in on a guard.
Yes.
And worst comes to worst, steal something of the child's and I can scry on them.
Exactly. Bright Mellow might be able to acquire something.
That's a much better plan than messing with the structural integrity of a house that is well known in the area. I think.
Wait a second. When you familiarize a animal, aren't you able to talk through them?
No. You
No,
can
I
just
think
see
so.
through them.
No.
I believe that's like
Yeah.
specifically a warlock feature.
Yeah, Wild Companion is basically just unfamiliar, so you can't talk through your familiar.
You can sense through them, but you can't speak through them.
Yeah, and I don't even know if I can cast spells through him. Let me look up.
It's a good question, yeah.
If I
I
could
could do
cast
that
a
with Hawk
spell
more
through
often,
him,
honestly.
that would be nice. Mm,
Range of touch, your familiar can deliver the spell as if it had cast a spell.
yeah, I don't know. Do I even have any touch spells?
If you got Cure Wounds, that's one. You've probably got a couple of
Well,
damage
that's
or
not going to
buff
get me
things
through
as
the
well.
door, unfortunately. I
Yeah,
have
no.
identified through touch. That's nice.
You can make Brightwell identify something. Just gotta
I
give him a
can
diamond
revivify
first.
her. If the child dies, I can,
Yeah.
can revivify. Greater restoration. I can do. Yeah, I mean, there's options, but hopefully I wouldn't need to cast anything.
Yeah. I like the plan that's already set out. We just write an anonymous letter, have Bright Mellow deliver it. The child can respond, and if we need to, then he can also sneak something out of the ring.
The trouble is just getting the door open. Bright Mellow is just a little bit too big to get under the door. So, as long as we can convince her to open it or get it underneath.
Knock until she opens.
Or are you able to polymorph things small enough to get underneath the door?
I could, but then it wouldn't be able to be invisible. I mean, God, multi-step plan is we could polymorph Bright Mellow, make him really, really small, get him in there, and then he goes invisible after he unpolymorphs. That is
I'm looking
very
through to see if there's anything
complicated,
that I
though.
could do other than stone shape, which would require me to be close to the house.
Counter argument. Bright Mellow goes invisible carrying the letter and someone polymorphed into an insect. And thus the insect's able to go in and either dismiss polymorph if there's obviously an issue, or just snag something small enough that could be used for a scry.
I mean,
What we could do is we could have Demir scry on the letter that we give. Or give
Are
a
you able to
token with the
scry on
letter.
objects?
You cannot scry on objects.
Well, can we not?
Sending someone in to grab an object as an insect doesn't seem that out there.
I mean,
there's also Bright Mellow could just snag a lock of hair or something.
Yeah.
He can't get through the door.
Can't get through the door and
just
deliver the
knock
letter.
on the door continuously. Eventually, she will open the door. If you have someone knocking at your door, you'll open it, and they'll see nothing. It will be an invisible Bright Mellow, and it will be weird, and she'll surely peek her head out, and a lock of hair can be stolen.
Additionally, I would be surprised if no one ever checks on her.
Obviously, someone does, because someone brings her dinner.
Exactly. So when they check on her, they'd open the door, wouldn't they?
Or she'd open the door.
Point is, the door would be open. But the knocking also works. That's a very solid idea.
She might open the door to see who put the letter underneath it. Either way, we can certainly try and get the door open.
If he needs to get out somehow, I guess we'll figure it out then. Man, I wish I took that course on disguise self.
Do you think that Bright Mellow should disguise himself?
No, I'm thinking like if he got stuck in, like pop in, pop out with him, but I don't want to get recognized. Like you guys were saying, it's not a good idea to force our way in case we get recognized and tracked down, etc. So it's probably just a Bright Mellow solo mission, huh?
Well, we could still send Bright Mellow in with someone polymorphed into an insect.
I mean, I'm not sure what good that would do.
Would, depending upon how things go, get into the room if she doesn't open the door and snag a hair that way.
But if Bright Mellow is familiarized, can't Lish borrow his eyesight?
Borrow
And see.
eyesight, but can't speak through him.
So,
I
the
can
letter.
always go with him.
And Bright Mellow is too big to get under the door. I'm just saying we should we should have a plan that has multiple chances to shift depending upon what's going on.
I'm gonna run to the restroom. You guys figure it out.
I just think this is getting a little
I can go with
overcomplicated
him.
and risky as a result.
I will go with Bright Mellow. How about that? I will wild shape into some kind of small fly, and I will go with him. And if things go wrong, I can get out of there relatively easily.
You would be able to repolymorph yourself if you had to go into the room, depolymorph, repolymorph, and come back out.
I have 2 wild shapes, and those can last me several hours, and I also have several polymorph spells that I can cast. So there's plenty I can do to get in and out if I need to. Oh my god, Kenzie is not looking forward to having to do a solo mission. God.
Well,
fine, but I'm like, oh god.
if you're willing to spare the spell, you can bring someone with you polymorphed, so you have backup in case if worse comes to worse.
I think it's too many moving parts. Polymorph is more difficult than wild shape because you do not bring along your own intellect.
Yeah. I also have polymorph, so if we want to bring someone along, I would be able to cast it on myself. I also have invisibility. So
I really think Lish
but
with the wild shape, along with Bright Mellow, is our best bet here.
Yeah.
And we can scry on Lish so we can see everything that's going on with him while he's in there.
I really think we're making this too complicated. Just continually knock at the door and eventually she'll open it.
She might not be the only one who hears the knocking, though.
An invisible knocking in a hallway. Oh no.
And hey, maybe they'll investigate the knock and open the door.
Well, my vote is send Lish in with Bright Mellow, and I would be willing to come polymorphed in case of emergencies.
Or maybe Valkyria, who's very recognizable, doesn't come along since you don't have polymorph as well.
I can go in polymorphed by someone else and then get repolymorphed to get back out if need be. But if I'm not the one going, that's fine.
I mean, like I said, if you want to risk your family.
I don't think this is a good idea, Valk. I think we should just, if we're adamant about sending a letter to the child, we just send the letter and see what happens, and we can go from there.
Yes, I agree.
Because the more parts we try to put into this, the more risk we make of being found out and potentially of your family being put in danger.
Wait, I have the solution. I think I figured it out. I just need a moment. I actually have a solution to the thing. Zoda has Unseen Servant, has the ability to... Hang on, let me just link the ability. There we go. She can basically store a spell for later for an hour and give it to someone else as long as it's 4th level or lower. So she can condense Unseen Servant, give it to Bright Mellow, and then Bright Mellow can unleash it to open the door.
Is that how that works?
Yeah.
You're gonna have the Unseen Servant do what now?
Ideally, Unseen Servant gets cast and condensed into arcane abeyance, where it's basically stored for an hour. Then Bright Mellow gets in and casts the spell while it's stored. And then Unseen Servant, which is unseen, can open the door for him.
The door is locked, though. It's not just a doorknob. Like, if it was just a doorknob, Bright Mellow can open a doorknob.
Fair enough. If it's locked, I guess that's a different issue entirely. Still, if it's a contingency you want to have, I'm willing to provide it.
I think if we're just delivering a letter, it should be more than enough for Bright Mellow to be competent.
Mhm.
I just am concerned if Bright Mellow gets inside the room and cannot get out for a time. We could solve
that too. I could condense Dimension Door into the same bead. That I don't need to prepare for.
Dimension Door.
Bright Mellow doesn't.
I mean,
this would be so much easier. Maybe I don't know. This would be easier if Bright Mellow was like a familiar. And I don't know if it counts.
Well, again, like if
that
he
I can. I can't summon Bright Mellow like I can a Find Familiar, right, DM? Because regular Find Familiar, you can bamf them.
Yeah.
So if I
that we arranged it, since Bright Mellow was originally one of your servants that you got for the variant noble background, you could cast Find Familiar on him so that you can see through his eyes. He's not a regular
exactly. So I can't bamf him. I can't bamf him out, and he can only really cast spells when he's in Find Familiar form. So
but for an
I can't.
Yeah, but the way Arcane Abeyance works, anything with an action can cast it.
Actually, you can send the Dimension Door in with Lish, who's wild shaped.
Well, Lish already knows Dimension Door.
You do?
Do I?
You said you did.
He has Misty Step. That's different.
Right. Yeah, Misty Step or Face Step.
Either way, I can give you a.
I'm just throwing this out there, as the DM, but Lish, you could turn into a bug or something and just go into your house.
I suggested earlier.
I could certainly do that.
I don't want to take you away from this chaos planning you're doing, but
why don't I just go in and do it? I mean, Bright Mellow can do a whole letter thing, but I can get in and out small, and just see what the conditions are inside of the room. I wouldn't be able to bamf out of wild shape without revealing myself, but I could get a look at how things are.
Mm-hmm.
How does that sound?
That does sound better. Also, we could send you in with the Dimension Door spell, because it doesn't have any cost to do this, right?
No. The way Abeyance works is I cast the spell. I pay all the prices and slots for it. But
Dimension Door is just verbal. So at which point you could have the bead as plan B.
I don't know if I will need that. I can prepare a move through whatever and see if I need to, but I don't think I'll need to. I can just wild shape into something small and get out.
But it is a quick escape, and Bright Mellow could use it to take you with him as well.
I would rather not endanger Bright Mellow if I can help it.
Do you not trust my spells? Or is that not the problem?
Do I trust your spells more than I trust myself just going and doing it myself?
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. Do we have a letter idea that we want to send? Or I'll just go and look. We don't need to deal with this letter. Letter can be after we know the condition of the child. Okay. That's fine. We can do it later this afternoon, or if you give me an evening to prepare spells specifically for this task, I think that would be best.
I'm happy with this
I
plan.
will do.
Wait, can't you activate it as just an action? You could
Activate
use
what?
the bead without even wild shaping.
If you want to give me the bead, I will take it, but I don't think I'll need it.
I think it's a good idea to have it just in case. So I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you shortly before you leave. Doesn't last forever.
Okay. Well, let's plan on tomorrow then. So I can set my spell.
Okay, I'm good with this plan.
Alrighty.
All right. So you're going to do it tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm just gonna make sure all my spells are good for a secret mission.
All right. Is there anything that anyone would like to do today if you're not gonna break into a house?
Levey.
Yeah, I want to talk to Toby. Toby time.
Yeah.
And they did want to take that nap, so LOL, she's gonna take him to what, a room, her room, his room in the fortress thingy.
Okay.
Is that how this works?
There are 2 floors to it. There's the bottom floor where you guys typically sleep, and then you can go upstairs, and that's also empty.
You could also go for a walk.
Yeah, there's a lovely lake just over yonder.
Yeah, but she wants a nap.
Okay.
And perhaps to climb the tree, as who knows? Not I. But yeah, she'll find like a little private spot and bring him aside. Hopefully where there's nobody else around.
I'm sure they can find a quiet spot to have a nap time.
Nap time. Okay, cool. And she seems nervous. She's not hiding anything. LOL.
As they kind of settle down and stuff, Tobias will watch her for a little bit before asking, "Is everything all right, Levey?"
I mean, yeah, just, with Vault's ma getting married and everything, I was just, it's on the mind. And I wanted to ask, I wanted to know
It's
what.
okay if you want to get married to Demi or Lish.
Oh.
I can understand why.
Oh, I didn't need
Toby, honey, I'm asking you if you want to get married to me.
Tobias appears genuinely surprised at that.
You're gonna break my fucking heart right now. Shut the fuck up. I love this man so much.
Do you really want to tie yourself to someone like me?
Well, what's that supposed to mean? Yes. I'm asking you, aren't I? I mean, I don't have a ring right now or nothing, but I mean, we can fix that. It's fine. It's not like we're conventional in many senses of the word.
That is true.
But Toby, Donir and Lish are kind of their own thing as much as they love us and we love them. But I mean, I thought maybe you and I could be also our own thing and that. But, that's why I'm asking. What do you think? Yes? No? After all this is settled, go ask Lish to officiate right now? I don't. What? It's you I'm asking. Just want that to be clear.
I just realized I was fucking muted.
Oh, no! That's why I kept talking. I was like, hello. Hello?
Oh, lords. Oh my fucking lords.
All the unintentional drama and suspense. My God.
Oh,
Take that. There we go.
tragedy.
On the edge of my fucking seat.
So
Toby
what was the
fucking
last thing you
died.
heard from me?
Oh God.
Was it Tobias asking if it was okay?
Last thing we heard you say was, do you really want to tie yourself down to someone like me?
And
Oh,
he's like,
okay.
yes. Question mark.
Yeah, he says that the other thing that he said, or the thing that I had him say next was, is that okay? Is that something that is okay for us? He says us, but Levey can kind of tell that he means him. Like, is it okay for him to have something like that?
I mean, if it's something you want, then yeah. This is me asking if that's something you want.
It is.
Then yes, of course, it's
I don't know.
okay.
Then I accept. I like that a lot.
It's, love real. She give him kissies. Lots of little kisses all over his face. Get loved, idiot.
He's gonna hug her very tightly as they're laying down together, and she can tell that he's trembling a little bit, partially just from the forced acknowledgement that someone would want him in that way.
She'll hug him back and hunker down with him for that nap, and just she can't seem to stop smiling, and she seems really giddy that he said yes and everything. And if you're trying to say things, you're muted again.
No, that time I was typing.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to fill the audio call with sounds of keyboard clacks.
No, you're so valid.
Yeah, he's probably gonna be quiet because he's reached a point where he doesn't know what else to say. He's just overwhelmed with a kind of a giddiness and a deep love and fondness for Levey.
Before she kind of hunkers down to doze off, she's gonna thank him and tell him that she loves him. But she knew she loved him a lot.
He'll tell her that he loves her too.
And yeah, nap time. I'm gonna go cry. I'm gonna go cry my fucking eyes out. I love these idiots so much. Shut the fuck up.
All right. Is there anything anyone would like to accomplish before trying to break into a house to spy on a child?
Since we're waiting for a whole day, Demir will go over to Zoda and Volk and be like, do either of you know anything about enchanting items or...
So it's just
Do
sort of
I?
like pointing. Zoda's also pointing at herself, just like.
Yes, the two people that I asked to speak with.
Fair enough. I just was. Right. There's definitely enchanting services and classes at the college, but I never actually took any of those courses. I'm sure I could try, but not right now.
Yeah, it's not immediate or anything. I was just wondering if any of you were all familiar or...
It is in Xanathar's Guide to Everything. Give me a minute
In
to look it up.
character response.
Very in character.
Nah.
Character for spell for Dungeon Master's cool.
I asked because Zota is a wizard and Valkyria has made a scroll before, so...
Scroll is quite a bit different than an actual item.
Yeah. A scroll is a bit different. You're not necessarily... Well, there's a bit of magic involved. You are imbuing the scroll, but it's a lot easier because you're using specific inks to do it.
Yeah, you're just holding a spell temporarily in a piece of paper is ultimately what a scroll is. Whereas a magic item is you're imbuing that item with magic and takes a fair bit more.
Not all magic items necessarily translate one-to-one to a spell either. Like I can't exactly cast +1 fist, so.
You can cast Holy Weapon on Fist, but you know.
She doesn't know that. What did you have in mind, though, if I may ask?
Well, I was thinking of getting some items enchanted with sending. Like Tobias's sending stone.
Oh. Creating a little sending network, then? That's not a bad idea.
Yes.
Yeah, like I said, I can't do it right now, but I could see if there's any way to get some or get the materials myself, maybe make them myself. I'd have to learn the spell first, but that's not too big a deal.
I mean, if it's outside of your capabilities, I wouldn't want to impose. I just...
Oh, no, it's completely fine. You guys have done a lot already.
I found where it says it in the book. It's page 128 and mostly page 129.
I don't have Xanathar's Guide, so I can't check myself.
Yeah.
Is it small enough that I can just drop it in the group chat?
I don't know, maybe.
Nope.
Okay.
Too big.
Right.
Okay.
There's probably a page somewhere that we can find.
Can you
Anyway.
just take a screenshot of it?
Yes, I can. Is that still legible? That is indeed still legible.
It's for future. I don't even have the item I want to enchant, but
Well, I'll try and keep it in mind.
Please do.
Oh, speaking of, I forgot to add spells to that spell book. Oops. I'll do that later. It's more inflated for her to take classes anyway.
I could make spell scrolls ascending fairly straightforwardly.
I was hoping for items, but I suppose that would actually, I would definitely take one of those.
It's a good stand-in for now, yeah. I don't know if you can get the materials for that here. Maybe at the general store. I'd be amazed if he doesn't have some of those lying around, some of the materials.
Zoda, do you have access to sending?
I don't know it, no.
Okay.
Wish I did.
It's a
I
third
really should
level
pick that up.
spell, so it takes like about a week to that's what you're doing for the week to make a spell of sending. Or make a scroll of sending.
Well, it's something for the future.
Yeah. I imagine we'll probably be heading back to Royas eventually. I'll probably have
I
to
would
get back
like to go
studying.
to Avitix on our way back. If we don't directly go to Royas.
No, it's on the way, so.
Well, that's all I wanted. Thank you.
Of course.
And I appreciate your assistance.
Glad to hear it.
That's all I wanted.
All right.
Anyone else have anything they'd like to do before breaking into a house?
Zoda actually wanted to steal Toby for a second. Just like when he's not being occupied with a proposal, probably sometime before or after, I don't know. If possible, she'd like to sort of approach Toby, not necessarily by himself, and just be like, so, that thing you did back at the Bandits.
Right. What thing?
You know, she makes that pose.
Ah, that thing. Yeah. I have to thank Lish for that one.
Really?
Polymorph comes in handy in a pinch.
Check. Zoda roll an insight check.
Oh!
What'd you get?
4.
7. I did. Yeah, wild how he also worked some hemocraft into that too, huh? He did sort of just like. For what it's worth, I'm not afraid.
You know, out of character real quick, just to make sure that I'm remembering this correctly. Zoda talked before about people not being very kind to wizards slash getting aggravated by Lish and Demir's prejudice towards them, right?
I don't know if she's done so openly. I don't remember myself.
I thought there was a moment back at the tower.
Yeah, it's. I was gonna say it's not out of character at all.
there was like a moment or something.
She asked Lish to help out with what he was doing with the maps, and Lish was just like, there's plenty of other books in here that you could take a look at.
I think there's something else that was going on, but
well, Zoda also talked to Damir privately about it, but that wasn't for everybody to see.
But I don't know what it was that I remembering. Okay, scrap that aspect of it then.
No worries on that front.
I appreciate it. And I don't think I need to tell you to keep this secret or quiet, at least.
Oh, of course not. No, my lips are sealed on that. I know it's more than, just the magic piece, but I could tell you're in control, and just like my own magic, it's a tool. It doesn't define you. You define it. If anything...
He has an almost self-depreciative smile on his face as he says, I think it took me too long to finally realize that aspect of it.
I guess I can't really blame you. It's, frankly, not the most appealing thing to look at in practice, but it's what you do, and you're a good person. So I trust it, and I trust you. Anyway, the reason I approached in the first place, I'm just curious what it's like.
As in how it feels to use it? How to
I mean, really, just that, and anything in between. You don't. People like me don't usually get the chance to talk to a blood-slinging owlbear man.
I'm a little surprised that you were able to determine what the source of it was so quickly.
You did sort of cut your own arms open.
No, I purposely would state in combat that Tobias would be very careful about when he would do that, so Zoda would not see.
Well, I'm talking about like in the combat with the band.
Oh, right.
He, like, rake his claws over his own arms.
Clawed his arms because he had no other means of doing it.
Yeah.
In that case, yeah. So she was curious about how it
feels like to use, to transform, etc. Just like what it's like.
Tobias kind of thinks for a moment before saying, I almost want to say it feels like there's a natural aspect to it. That you're giving pieces of yourself to use the rites. And when you know them well enough, it becomes almost like breathing. That rather than having to state an incantation or using something else as an invocation, you can just look at something.
Cool.
As for the transformation aspect, I'm not always sure if I'm the best person to ask, just due to my circumstances. Initially, when I transformed the first few times, it wasn't good, or it didn't feel good. Actually, in fact, the first time I transformed, it was probably the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. And I swore off for the longest time to never transform again. It wasn't until I joined up with this band of ruffians that I ended up finding a reason to kind of dip into that part of myself again. And over time, it started to become a little more natural, a little less odd, less like I'm looking through someone else or looking through someone else's eyes, and more that it's actually me. And ideally, I prefer it to stay that way.
Yeah, even growing up, I heard more than one story about lycanthropes in general, people who would lose themselves in the full moon, things like that. So knowing that there's people like you really puts that in question, you know?
People can still lose themselves. I can still lose them myself if I'm not careful. It's still a beast inside you, however, it's more so learning to converse with that beast, reaching an agreement and understanding. But there are others who have lost themselves and who have given up what it means to be a person. And I know that because that is how I gained this.
Right. Well, I can't claim to know what that's like at all, but I feel like that experience isn't as rare as you might think. Son!
Oh boy.
Sorry, I had to break character for a second there because the baby was on the screen. Anyway, as I was saying, I feel like that experience isn't as I feel like there's people that can relate. And like I know it's a bit of a stretch, of course, but for every person at the college who's trying to be like me, there's 3 more who are like Idarin.
People are weird.
People are weird. Sometimes they're really selfish. I just try to be, well, honestly, just kind of like you. I try to be someone who puts that idea into question.
That's the second time I've been told that I've been a role model for someone. And I'm not sure if that's entirely a good thing.
Maybe less of a role model and more of an inspiration. I'm not exactly seeking to wield my blood in combat or anything. I've already got my hands full with all the paperwork. Well, not paperwork, all the studying that I have to do. I don't think I have time to pick up another craft.
That's probably for the best. Well, I'd say it's a bloody method of fighting, but that's kind of obvious.
Honestly, I mean, you don't seem to use it very often.
Which part?
The blood thing. And I mean, honestly, both of them. I didn't know until like yesterday, so
That's because I'm really good at hiding it. It also helps that I usually stand behind you in a fight.
That's fair.
But all the moments you've seen my arrows have electricity or ice, that was the rights.
That isn't arcane archery.
No,
Interesting.
it wasn't.
Well, very well hidden then. Wow.
Tobias will show her his thumb, and she can see the there's one scar that's the largest / most prominent, and it looks freshest ish, or at least like it looks like it continues to reopen in the middle of his thumb, like on the middle of his thumb pad. And then there's like a couple of others where he might have like other times where he went cut his thumb, but it was like slightly off / not in the same spot, that sort of thing. But it's very evident how many times he's done this.
She does cringe a little. She is looking at a really like well-worn scar after all, but
Yeah.
She's like, okay. So
because honestly, after you do it so many times, you really don't feel it anymore.
That's fair. Looks kind of calloused, for lack of a better word.
It wouldn't be surprising if the skin in that area was a little numb from how much damage it takes.
Oh, yeah. Huh. Well, thank you for sharing. I can't imagine it was the most comfortable. Sorry.
It's all right. I trust you. I know you aren't going to rat me out to someone.
I would never. I wouldn't even have a reason to. You're such a nice person.
Now, there we go again.
Come on, give yourself a little credit. Okay, fine. I won't push it. Well, thank you for sharing again. If there's anything you need from me, just let me know.
Of course. And if you do have other questions, you're more than welcome to ask.
I appreciate it.
Tobias will,
Yeah. I think they'll just like sort of naturally break off.
Yeah.
Back to their own things.
All right. Anything anyone else would like to accomplish? Stopping, conversations, etc. Fucking. Going once. Going twice. All right. So, shall we skip to Lish trying to break into this house?
Do we have time? We certainly can.
Well, we can get you through the door at least, even if you don't talk to the child.
Soda will still, of course, insist that he, or if it's just him, yeah. Will still insist that he bring a condensed dimension door with him.
Yeah.
So she goes to cast a spell, and sort of like the moment it looks like it's about to resolve, it sort of just implodes in on itself and swirls in on a small gray bead, probably only about a 1/4 inch in diameter. And then she gives it to him.
Yeah. No, take it.
Samir is going to give him a kiss and give him the bardic inspiration.
Oh boy.
Good luck. And for what's worth, I hope you don't need that.
Yeah, I mean, he can bring the pixies in his hair, and was there anything else that I should bring?
A
Don't
can-do
think so.
attitude. But really, no, I can't think of anything else.
I think you're asking too much of me, Sophie.
Should we send a letter in with them just in case?
We can. I could leave it there perhaps if I have to unpop, but otherwise I won't be able to leave it. I'll bring a letter just in case, and it'll say something along the lines of, "Hello, are you well? Do you need rescuing? Signed, your friend." Something like that. Leave a note outside the house if you can, or send us some kind of signal. Blah.
All right.
And I'll put it in his pocket, and then we'll head towards the house.
Okay. So I'll tell you what. For the start of this, why don't you roll a perception check to try to find an opening, a perception check or an investigation check. Also, what kind of bug do you turn into?
A fly. A tiny little fly.
That's a dragonfly.
Not a dragonfly. Dragonflies are too big. I thought about it. Perception, yeah. Okay, so that is going to be a roll. Okay, that's a 15.
15? Okay. Do you look on the first or second floor?
There are windows on the second floor?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'll start by just looking to see if any of the windows are cracked.
Okay.
Or if there's any like knots in the wood.
So this building is made out of stone primarily. You start buzzing around and flying and looking. And you notice firstly that there seem to have once been windows in the space where you know that the child's room is, but they've been long stoned up and covered. So you are able to find a window close to the second, close to her bedroom, more or less, on the second floor. Lars, did you have a thought?
Yeah, I remembered there was something that I was going to send Lish with.
Okay.
My polymorph necklace, just in cases. Which just makes you human standard from the
Do I have
neck
to
up.
attune to that?
Oh, no, it's not for you. It's for the kid, if that's what it is.
Should give to the kid to polymorph?
To look human standard, if that's the issue.
Oh, I don't think polymorph can turn you into a person, though.
This
Just
is
creatures.
a special item made specifically for Volk that allows.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's like an alter self.
Yeah, more like alter self. All right. Roll another perception check now that you're inside. You seem to be in a hallway of some sort.
Okay, give me a second. Okay, so perception. So it's a 12 on the die and plus 10, 22.
22. All right. Walking down this hallway, you can see what seems to be some sort of servant woman. She's plump and wearing like a gray dress with an apron. She does not seem to take notice of you, but she is carrying a platter.
A platter. All right, and she's heading down the hallway. She's heading around. Lisha will stay by the ceiling and just kind of head down to where he saw Bright Mellow go before, down the hallway to the room.
The servant woman is more or less heading in that direction.
Okay, so he's gonna try and see if he can't get a little bit ahead of her, but staying up high. And yeah, he'll see if he can't go and like land on the corner of the threshold of the door.
All right. The servant woman approaches the door, and she carefully sets the platter down in front of it. And roll an insight check for me.
21.
You can tell pretty easily that this woman seems nervous for some reason. You don't know exactly why, but she knocks on the door, and the door slowly creaks, just slightly open, like it wasn't locked. Perhaps at this point in the evening, the child knows that it's just about time for her meal and left it unlocked.
If the door creaks open, he's immediately going through the like top of the threshold, like into the room.
Okay. So,
through that like upper crack.
The room is dark. There are maybe a couple of candles illuminating a frankly very comfortable looking 4-poster bed with a lovely canopy over the top of it. Both the canopy and the sheets of the bed are a deep velvet purple. And then there are also various decorative curtains hanging up along the walls. There is a bookshelf on one side of the room, and for a moment, it seems like the room is empty. And you can hear the servant woman kind of move away from the door now that the platter has been left.
Mm-hmm.
When a girl drops down from the ceiling.
Whoa, exciting.
And looking at her, you can see that she's probably about 16 years old. And it's weird because at first glance, she seems like very thin, despite the way she's clearly well taken care of. Like she's wearing very fine clothes and shining jewelry, and her skin is a very pale white, which would make sense given that she doesn't seem to get much sunlight. And her lips are very red. And her long, sleek, dark hair maybe trails perhaps half a foot past her ankles. And her eyes are as dark as her hair, with no visible iris. And you can see as she moves completely silently to take the platter, and she picks it up carefully and brings it in, setting it on the floor. And she sits in front of it. takes the lid off of the platter to reveal a dead rabbit, which he then begins to eat raw. And that's where we'll call session.
Woo!
What the
Well, that's why they don't want
fuck?
anyone to know.
What the fuck?
They have a fucking creature.
Yes.
Already.
My fly has dark vision too, so I get to see every detail in 4K.
You get to see her eating this raw rabbit in her darkened room.
Lish is
Well,
like,
that
oh,
just-
worm.
That sounds like
Relatable.
Lish activities. Has a bad hangover, things are shut, and eating a raw rabbit.
Feral
have-
fun times.
Any of you read No Glass Apples by Neil Gaiman?
Nope.
Here, hold on. Let me get a picture of her, because I based the looks of this girl off of this. Just a second. Boop. All right.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, thanks for playing.
Woo!
We'll see you next time.
Oh boy.
Woo!
All right. GG.
All right.
GG
Bye.
indeed.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye.